What's going on, YouTube? I'm JT Magnum, and welcome to Magnum Sports Rundown. This episode, I'm going to talk about my NFL rankings as of after Week 9 of the NFL season. I'm going to do my top 5, actually. The number 1 team, or actually, let's start with the number 5 team, the Denver Broncos. They've been playing solid, except for the last week. Obviously, they got killed by New England, and that Manning versus Brady matchup. Brady just always seems to own Manning, and that's why they're number 5 on my list at 6-2. Then we're going to number 4, the Seattle Seahawks. They actually beat Denver already in Seattle. I know they haven't been playing the best of football as of late, but they're still the NFL reigning champions. They still know how to win. Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch still lead that team, and they're always in games. They're never out of games. If they win, they either win in blowout fashion or they win, or if they lose, they never lose by, it seems like they never lose by 7 points or less. Or 7 points or more, I should say. They're always in the game. They always find a way to still come back. They always find a way to somehow pull out victories. So I just think Seattle still is one of the best teams in the league. Number 3, I put the Dallas Cowboys with Romo, of course, in there. If Whedon's in the game, I don't think the Dallas Cowboys have any chance whatsoever to win. Whedon is just not he's just not a good quarterback. Romo is obviously way better. I'd rather take a hurt Romo than a Whedon any day. And right now, the Cowboys, with that offensive line, the way DeMarco Murray's running, I just think they're a team to be reckoned with. They do have a little bit of problems now. There's like 4 players, I believe, were injured in that game against Arizona this past week. So, monitor them, and their defensive struggles, or if they might have defensive struggles because of it. But the Dallas Cowboys have been playing great this year so far, and that's why they're in my top 3 spot, or number 3 spot. Number 2, the New England Patriots. Like I said, they just beat the living daylights out of the Denver Broncos. Brady and company were written off not too long ago, getting beat 41-14 by the Kansas City Chiefs, barely squeaking out a victory over the Raiders. They lost to the Dolphins the first game of the season. Everybody was saying, oh, New England's done. What's wrong with Belichick? He got rid of all his players. Brady, he got rid of a whole offensive line for Brady. They have no receivers around Brady. They have nothing surrounding them. Next thing you know, here they are winning games again at 7-2, sitting atop the AFC, and nobody's talking now. All of a sudden, they're the best again. So New England sitting at my number 2 spot, and they were really never out of the question for me this year. It never really even phases me with that team because they always start off slow and then pick it up later on as the year goes on. And number 1, the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, this is a team that is winning games with defense, winning games with key offensive plays. They're doing it minus injuries. This is a team that is missing Darnell Dockett. They're missing Kalai Campbell for part of the year. They're missing Darrell Washington. They lost Carlos Dansby in free agency. Tyrone, the Honey Badger, Matthew. I hate to say his name wrong, but Tyrone Matthew or Mathau. I'm sorry if I butcher his name, but the Honey Badger, basically, I can't mess that up. He was gone for part of the season, or missing a couple games as well. And this team still ekes out victories. Missing Carson Palmer for the first few games of the season, yet still 7-1. And they're pulling out victories. Bruce Arians has done a tremendous job with this Arizona team. I don't know how good they are. It's hard to gauge how actually good they are because they just keep finding ways to win. And you almost think that there's got to be a time where maybe luck or maybe something plays into it, or maybe something is going to happen where they finally lose some games, but they haven't. I mean, Denver's been the only team that's been able to beat them, and even that game was a tough game for Denver, as Arizona came back in that game. But it just seems like Arizona just somehow finds a way to get victories, and right now I don't know if there's a team right now that can play with them in the way that they play. I mean, they constantly blitz. My goodness, they are a blitzing team. They do not care. They will throw the house at you. It seems like they're throwing 10 guys at you at one point and just daring you to throw the ball at them. So we'll see how they go in the future. There's also a healthy, San Francisco 49er team that's coming up. They're finally going to get a lot of defensive players back, and they've been basically, they've been kind of coasting through the regular season. It just seems like they're just trying to just get back to health and get their players back, and just trying to squeak out games, squeeze out some wins here and there, but it seems like it's costing them. And who knows, these losses keep piling up for the 49ers, so who knows if that's going to play any effect. But they still have to play a game in San Francisco. They still have to play 2 games at Seattle. So we'll see, or not at Seattle, but the 2 games against Seattle. And we'll see what happens with Arizona as the year goes on. I personally think that they're still going to end up with maybe 4 or 5 losses, but given the way, the teams that they have to play still in the future, but we'll see what happens. But right now, as of right now, they're sitting up top of the NFC. They're sitting on top of the whole NFL, in my opinion. They're just a really good team. I mean, they have a good running game. Carson Palmer's back. They have 3 great wide receivers in Fitzgerald, Floyd, and John Brown. And they're doing well. So we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comment section who your top 5 NFL teams are at the moment and why. And let me know what you think of my top 5, all right? So for JT Magnum and Magnum Sports Rundown, I'm out. Peace.